Yeah, we are live now on the podcast. So, hello everybody, and welcome to today's very different interview. And I'm absolutely thrilled to have with us Guru Pashupati, a renowned yogi with a fascinating journey. I had planned to give a very detailed introduction, Guru, but I thought let me have a conversation and let the audience slowly, take the layers off or maybe add the layers to know more about you.
Sure.
Absolutely a pleasure, thrill, and honor, and blessing to have you on board, Guru Pashupati.
Thank you.
As a yoga company, as a founder CEO of Sense 22 Yoga, Guru, I was actually fascinated, with the new whiff and an air of Siddha Yoga, which you have brought to the table, which you are propagating to the world. And that's the reason I thought this was, it's going to be supposed to be the most important podcast for us. So, as a yogi, let me start with a small prayer because we're going to have a nice talk and a discussion. So, like to initiate this discussion with the prayer, Guru. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanam Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karvavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. The reason I've chosen this Shanti mantra is because we all will be nourished by the knowledge today, Guru, with your presence. And with our best capacity of mind, I would initiate this discussion so that it will be a beautiful flow of thoughts and knowledge. So, Guru, without much ado on this, I think everybody is waiting for a beautiful theory, amazing practice. I think most intriguing for me personally, as I went through understanding, how to get this podcast off, is your childhood journey, and that is something which you have linked childhood with one word which everybody is so obsessed about today is happiness. Can we know more about it, Guru?
So, even when I was a child, I realized that people are not really happy. And for me, that seemed strange. I mean, why would you not prioritize that? Because
Okay.
that really, at the end of the day, all of our motivation comes for us to remain happy. And if we don't master that knowledge, then what are we doing? So, this was a start thing like, why would people do things that make them unhappy? Why would people think thoughts that make them unhappy? I could realize this even when I was a child, but I didn't know what to do about it.
Okay.
Except I used to keep myself happy. I used to think, is this thought making me happy? No. Then why do I have to have it? Let it go. That's what I used to do even as a child before I learned yoga also. I just thought, why should I encourage any thought? So I used an analogy.
Hmm.
I wouldn't allow some snake into my house. Even if it
Right.
came, I would catch it and throw it out, or a scorpion or whatever. And why do we allow these scorpions and snakes in our mind? Where is the vigilance?
Right.
So that was my
So,
understanding.
so this is, it's so easily put. Everybody knows we should not allow these things. But what is it that, Guru, which gets you into a kind of a driver mode, to know which gear to push, how to move along? And at this point of time, I want to tell the viewers that Guru Pashupati belongs to a very ancient lineage called the Trilok Akhada and is carrying the lineage with a very authentic practice called the Siddha Yoga, which we'll know more about it. Right, Guruji?
Yes, that's right.
So we all know that we don't want to allow scorpions and snakes, Guru. But I mean, what is it that holds us to really be afraid of getting those out, or maybe why we are afraid of that, even that happiness, tasting happiness many times?
Honestly, it's just two things. One is we don't recognize a scorpion or snake as a scorpion and snake because the effect of bad thoughts is after some time. It's not immediate. But scorpion and snake is immediate effect. If it bites you, you'll be in the hospital immediately. So we get rid of that. But the negative thought, when I'm having a negative thought about someone and I think this so much injustice has been done to me, suddenly violence will play in my head. Suddenly there'll be a lot of this. Bollywood music that makes me into this mega person, mega hero to which injustice has been done. And I somehow enjoy that, you know. So people kind of enjoy that bit, but they don't realize what's happening inside their body when you hold that kind of thought. So very recently, I posted a video on all my channels about an experiment I did in 2017,
Yeah.
where
Right.
I saw that, you know, if you put water uh, and you put some rice into it and you leave it and you speak lovingly to one, I put four jars, you know, love, hate,
Okay.
uh,
Okay.
no,
Right.
ignore. One I was ignoring completely, and another
So
was fear.
what I think I saw that post. It had about four jars, and you had labeled it as
The
love,
effect of our words.
ignorance, hate, and something like that. And you used to converse and ignore, right?
Yeah, so for 30 days,
Okay.
I spoke lovingly to the love jar. I spoke hatefully to the hate jar. I
Okay.
ignored the ignore jar. And I spoke fearful words to the fear jar. Something is going to happen to you, you know. And I enjoyed it. I was just doing it. I didn't expect the results that came after that. The
Right.
love jar
Okay.
didn't have single fungus, nothing. But everything else
Okay.
was black with fungus, thick with fungus, you know. So
Right.
that's happening
Right.
inside our body too. Our body is full of water. We can't
And this is
be,
what
we can't
precisely I want to get into, Guru, today is that, how do we really push ourselves, those scorpions out and get the happiness in. So, what is that power, courage, or fearlessness which gets into that? Maybe over the
yeah.
course of our discussions, a lot of things will come, but this is what is very crucial today.
We don't need any technique for this. We just have to
Okay.
realize it's bad.
Okay.
When you realize
Right.
something is bad, you'll stop it. But we don't realize it's bad. That's the
Okay, so
problem.
this comes to a point, Guru, where I saw your childhood, where I think you were stammering, right? And
Yeah, yeah,
because of the stammering, you were bullied. Now, I also, hold this analogy because today, if you look at most of the cities, we stay in gated communities. But if
yeah,
you're out on the streets, it's the real world, right? It's a real world out there, and I think
yeah.
each one of us needs to get prepared to face the real world. Now, I think this is when we all know that childhood is very impressionist. What you get into, and that's how it shapes later. This is what I
Hmm.
would like to. Our viewers want to know, how do you that childhood was shaping for you, with the stammering, with the bullying, and what was it all about?
Well, it's not really the circumstances that shape us. It's the response to the circumstances that shape us. You know,
Okay.
just, you know, if you take any child and put them through what I've been, mostly they'll end up mental. What I've been through,
Okay.
they'll end up mentally disturbed and they'll end up with a lot of mental problems. But the way I responded to it was different because I had this understanding that if I fill my mind with garbage, I'm going to do garbage. You see how it moves. There's a thought vibration here,
Yeah.
then it moves down to the nose, then it moves down to the mouth, then it moves down to the navel, it comes back up to the third eye, and from here we visualize our future. Just notice.
Wow.
Any word you say, just say some words and sit and notice. Very soon you'll find that it is vibrating your nose. After some time, it's vibrating your mouth. After some time, it's vibrating your navel. And then when it starts vibrating here, you've created that future.
Oh,
That's how we all
okay.
create our future. We are constantly creating our future because we are the immortal Jiva, you know. We're not this body. We're not these clothes. We're not this body. We're not these names. We're not any of those things.
So can you elaborate? Because I saw a lot of in your post and podcast, even your social handles. You talked about Jiva. And you talked about energy. Can we just elaborate, Guru, in your own simple way, to understand, to tell the audience what we are all about?
So our Upanishads make it very clear that we are not this body. It's an exploration of who we are. Unless we know who we are, how can we know what is our powers? So who we are, then what is our powers? We are immortal, first of all, and we are formless. And everything that we see is being created by us, by our inner vibrations. Okay, so
Okay.
we have this ability to vibrate. We are not God. God is above us, but we have the same capacity as Shakti has to create worlds, Maya. Yeah, we can make this Maya. Everything that we're seeing around us is Maya. When we start understanding this, then we're like, why can't we create the Maya that we want? Why are we creating a negative Maya and making a mess? It's all about I've given you an iPad, and you can draw anything in it. You can draw something very beautiful. It takes effort because you have to sit, you have to think about it. Today I saw someone who drew some very beautiful drawings on an iPad on
Okay.
Instagram. But similarly, you can also make a mess. You can create a terrible kind of drawing,
I
where
like this perspective because a
hurts
lot
the
of people,
eyes. You know,
I like this perspective because a lot of people say, everything is Maya, and that's an excuse for them to escape. But I think what you have told is you create the Maya which you want. I think this
yes,
is a very beautiful way of putting it. And if everything is Maya, let me create that Maya which I mean, a dream of, right? Beautiful.
yes, yes. So this word escape is very important because when Devika Rani and Himanshu Rai, they
Okay.
were the first people to start Bollywood. Their mission was to create escapist movies,
Oh.
where a person can escape from their pain by just watching the movies. From then on, the vision has continued, and Bollywood continues to create escapist movies. Even our
Okay.
stories, which we watch, it's been a global phenomenon to help people escape from their life. But there's not much media that is educating people about how they are the hero of their own life. And without their heroism, their life is not going to be any worth, you know. So it's a very old legacy, this escapism. It started with Bollywood.
I think I will pick up that beautiful one line, Guru Pashupati is, "We are our own hero," And I think I remember my because I stay in Bombay. I know how you move to movies, and when you come out, reality hits you. You are not into that other world, and again you see your own problems, the potholes, and etc. and etc. Of course, you have to face those challenges. So here, Guru, I want you to share with your journey into martial arts. And I mean, I was so interested to do this podcast because I saw you with very unique instruments which are beyond the gym. And I understand you worked with absolutely large groups like the Karnataka Police, the UNICEF, with your martial arts. And what was that central idea of martial art? What drives you today? And what do you want to say about martial arts for everybody, Guru?
I think martial arts are essential for everybody, not because you have to become a warrior or something, but simply because you have to protect yourself in this world.
Wow.
If you draw a boundary, you should be able to protect that boundary. Otherwise, what's the point of having that boundary, right? If you are able to tell someone, hey, this what you did is not okay, you have to be able to give them a consequence that if you cross this boundary again, this is what is going to happen. And we're not able to use those words because we don't have that physical power. And because people are so weak physically, they're not able to draw even behavioral boundaries with other people. And they feel scared. There is always a fear inside that I will get attacked and I will get beaten up.
Okay.
This is there in every person, every child's heart, it's there. But we don't teach them martial arts. We teach them a lot of studies. And then so they think that studies is going to protect them. But really, whatever it is, people can just catch you, beat you up, make you go to the ATM and take out money. Give it to them, for example. And, let's say you're in an office where there's a competitive environment and people are doing whatever they want. No, but sometimes it becomes every man for himself or every woman for herself, and then they start scrambling and they start attacking each other. A lot of dirty things happen in life uh, where there's a lot of pressure and we can't say no. Somehow we can't say no. People just can't say no. They can't draw the boundary and say no, I'm not interested. So because of that, I think we should train in martial arts, not to hit people,
Yeah.
but to be resilient.
Right.
That is the
Right.
most important thing. So that's why I started to teach people on a scale, and
Okay.
we managed to penetrate into a system which the government had an agency, and
Okay.
through that agency they were teaching sexual health to girls in all the Kendriya Vidyalayas and other
Right.
government
Right. Right.
schools. So
Right.
I started
And,
training those teachers to teach the
okay.
girls even self-defense and teach the
Nice.
boys also a little bit of self-defense and how to behave in public spaces. I believe
Right.
that because of my efforts today, India is a lot safer place than it was 20 years ago.
Okay, okay. Yeah, I understand you were running one of the largest martial arts academy called Shoot
Yes,
Fighters, right?
right.
And you're also building a martial arts temple. Now,
That's right.
this is something which I heard for the first time. You have all types of temple, but now this is a martial arts temple.
Yeah.
So, what is this all about, Guru? And what do you want to tell the world who's listening to you about the martial arts
So
temple?
the martial art that I now practice is an art called Kalim, which is
Okay,
the martial art practiced by Kali when she was
okay,
killing the Asuras. If you read the Markandeya Purana, all the exploits of Kali are there, you know. So Devi Mahatmya, it's called. So when you read that, you see that she's
right.
doing a whole lot of stuff. There's some technical words mentioned there that people
Okay.
just skim over. They don't really understand it. But those are all martial art techniques. There's a whole listing in the Devi Mahatmya of martial art techniques that she used to
Right.
defeat different asuras. And these asuras are also symbolic of the kinds of thoughts that we have and to be able to kill them. For example, to kill Rakta Beach, she has to
Uh,
drink up every drop of his. There are techniques like that where you can
okay.
suck out all the energy of your opponent, suck out all his courage. We know where the courage
Right.
stays in the body. We know how to take
Ah,
it out. And
wow.
so we're looking at an anatomy understanding beyond the medical science. Because medical science is only studying what is physically available, but it cannot
Right.
study the mind. But in
Correct.
Kalim, we know about the anatomy of the mind. Where is courage? Where is fear? Where is anger?
Okay.
Where is hatred? Where is this? Where is that? We know exactly where it is.
Right.
We know which
Right.
to attack, how to move it inside the body through energy.
Right. This
So
is
that
so
is what Kalim
interesting because I mean we only look at the fist or the physical, but there are certain type of behaviors which may drive this conflict. It may be hatred, jealousy, anger, and
Yes.
I'm sure we are missing a lot of these art, Guru Pashupati, and I hope in your akhada, this is taught to the people as to how to really, get to this core and attack something which is more crucial to make the enemy weaker. So I think this would be really interesting. Maybe our time or maybe the intelligence may not, be there to really dig deeper. But I think this is a very beautiful perspective, and I see these all these in Avengers movies and all, where they focus on the heart, maybe the behavior, and then the attacks. But sometimes I feel the foundations are all our Puranas and our Upanishads. That's what I felt. Maybe bits and pieces taken off and get
Yeah, well,
inspired.
my guru, she gave me a sword and she said, is this sword dangerous? And I said, of course it's dangerous. It's so sharp. She said, but it's not moving. It's just lying there. How can you call it dangerous? The sword is not dangerous. The person holding the sword, their mind is dangerous. So don't fight the sword, fight the mind.
Wow.
And that's what it is. If you can remove the courage of the enemy, then they
Right.
can't fight you. They will not cross your uh, boundaries, and that is
Right.
done through body language. The way a person stands and talks itself, whether you know how dogs they stand and posture.
Yeah. Right.
One
Right.
dog
Right.
postures. It might be a smaller dog also, but postures like this, and then the other dog, even if it's a
Correct.
bigger dog, takes few steps back
Yeah,
because
yeah, yeah, yeah. You
that's
see, even a fight between a dog and a cat, there is no escape route. The cat also, bulges up and tries
yes.
to ward off the dog. And if
No,
you look at our,
there's a reason that all our martial art is based on animals because animals are not
uh,
forgotten fighting, but humans are forgotten.
wow, superb. So I wanted to, I mean, again, I mean, before I forget, I wanted to touch upon those animal. There was a beautiful, I mean, I think social message you give about animals and the way you hold the mudgars. I think, can you just tell us the analogy between animal and their powers and what you gain when you mimic that animal? I think this would be very interesting at this point. Otherwise, I may forget as
So
talk goes on.
the first martial art that I learned was Kalaripayat because I learned it. I learned some of it from my grandmother,
Okay.
and what she would make me do is walk like animals. Just
Oh,
different kinds of animals. We had 8 animals, which we used to try to learn that. She used to take me
okay.
to the zoo and make me watch those animals, see how they breathe, see how they sit, see how they stand, and try to mimic that into my movement. So she said, by that, you'll capture the spirit of the animal into your body.
Wow.
And it's true. When we start mimicking an ape, how it walks, we start walking like a tiger is different, walking like a lion is different. So walking like an elephant is different, you know. So these are different abilities that those animals have. That spirit comes into us, and we are able to create a force field. See, whether you believe it or not, there is something called an aura. You don't have to not believe it because it can be proven. I can
Right.
measure the electricity in the air around me, the electromagnetic field around me.
Right.
Every
Right.
human being has an electromagnetic field. If you can match your electromagnetic field to that of an elephant, then you're going to be unbeatable
Wow.
in the battle.
Wow.
You know. So we have to meditate upon the animals to get their power, their blessings, and understand because there are a lot of divine animals in Hinduism, like
Right.
Nandi, for example. If you want the power of a bull, you meditate upon Nandi, and you'll get the power of a bull. You want the power of a Vanara, an ape, you meditate on Hanuman, and you'll get Hanuman's power. So there are a lot of such fantastic animals who have reached divine status in our Puranas, and we keep meditating upon them. Garuda, start
Wow.
meditating upon him, and then you'll understand what it means. How does that feel inside? How does Garuda breathe? How does Garuda look? How does Garuda feel? These kind of things we have to practice in our heart. So I put out actually 5 animals video on
Yeah.
my channel. If anybody is interested, just practice it. You'll see the difference.
I saw that. It was so interesting because in our childhood days, I mean, I have two kids. I mean, they also, I mean, sometimes we tell them, why these animal instincts, but now I know I will tell them to, fine tune those animal things to get that
Fine tune it.
powers.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
Right.
Fine tune it
Lovely.
to the level of a divine animal,
Wow.
not just an
Okay.
ordinary animal.
Nice, nice. Of course, we are all yogis, Guru Pashupati, and you know that every asana of yoga is inspired, named after nature, animals, and plants. So I think this is where I mean, was so eager to do this podcast because you have given a new dimension as to how to get those energies and leave those energies. And I think I'm sure it requires some practice, it requires some kind of finesse. And I'm sure your Trilok Akhada will do a great work to get this people initiated into this. Well, anyway, we move around, so let's move around with more energy. Great.
You know, I
So at
just
this
used to teach
point,
these
yeah,
girls, the small girls, I used to teach them how to attack like a
right.
tiger, right? How to
Okay.
be like a tiger. And I would make them to growl and jump. And they would do it,
Okay.
that kind of thing, you know. They would just do that, and then
Oh,
the others would get like really scared.
oh,
If I would do
nice.
that to someone on the street, he would be like, "Whoa, what happened?" You saw it, right? You saw its power.
Yeah, I saw that. I mean, for a moment, I thought you would come over here. Yeah, I would love to have more of this, Guru. I mean, this is absolutely great. I
Okay.
mean, I'm sure electromagnetic, all those fundamentals we teach when we teach mudras, and in all these, there are certain energy points which get activated, and I feel that beyond the yoga asanas, pranayama, and meditation, the angles which you have given today, in terms of martial arts, being imbibing the animals, understanding how Kali works across, all those things are very important for me today. It's a big learning for me, Guruji. Of course, you don't say it's a learning; you say it's a 20
No, I
Upanishads.
want to add something because yoga did
Yeah.
not start off with yoga mats and yoga pants, right? Yoga
Yeah.
started off in the forest where
Yes.
you could be attacked by any animal. You could be attacked by, you know, forest spirits. You could be attacked by robbers. You could be attacked by anybody. I have wandered from Varanasi to Nepal and back by foot. I had to
Yeah.
pass through many jungles. So if a yogi doesn't know martial arts, then what kind of yogi is he?
Yeah, yes. I mean, like
Could be a
in
yogi.
Maharashtra, you must be knowing the Nath Sampradaya. Every
Yes, yes,
Nath was a warrior yogi, and this
that's right.
is one beautiful element about our ancient, classical, all the text. How they had different astras and sastras for many things. They were one of the foremost yogis, but the most beautiful part, but they were warrior yogis. And this is where we believe that Natha Sampradaya had a huge role to document different types of yoga, contribute to the richness of these yogic techniques.
That's right.
Lovely. So
I also
here,
belong to Sampradaya, by the way.
yeah. So can you tell more about this Trilok Akhada, the Nath
Tilok
Sampradaya?
has six
Yeah.
six Sampradayas.
Okay.
One is Siddha, one is Nath, then there is Giri, then there is
Okay.
Naga, and finally there is Vajra Yoga.
Okay.
So, did I miss one? Naga, Nath, Giri, Siddha, Vajra, Aghora.
Aghora.
Six sampradayas are there within us,
Okay.
in our Akhada.
So Siddha Yoga is, I mean, can you elaborate what you're the biggest, one of the foremost practitioners of Siddha Yoga, Guru Pashupati. So can you just elaborate what you do and how Triloka Khada can help the seekers and what is it all about, the philosophy?
So, you see, the third chapter of the Yoga Sutra is about siddhis. You see, Vibhuti Pada.
Huh.
Our focus is on attaining these siddhis, vibhutis, so that we can bring joy, justice, growth, and happiness in the world. It's basically what we do. So, in Siddha Yoga, you don't have to worry about goals because the goals become obvious. Whatever problem is there in front of you, solve it. That's the goal. So, you don't have to think
Okay.
about life's purpose. Who's having a problem? Let's fix it.
Okay.
So, when we go around like that, we start getting into mission mode. We always have a mission. Siddha yogis always have a purpose. They know the deep why of something, why we should
Okay.
do something. Very, very deeply understood in a sattvic manner. There are three
Okay.
motivations. There is rajasic motivation, there is tamasic motivation, and there is sattvic motivation. Sattvic motivation, it's always great. The, the goal is very big, and the goal is fun, and it benefits others and it benefits you as well. But in rajasic motivation, we only think of our own benefit. And more than having uh, something, more than accomplishing something big, it's about getting fame and glory. That is rajasic
Okay.
motivation. And it dies
Okay.
out. You burn out. Such people burn out. Okay, they're not able to sustain because they're not getting energy back from people because they're not helping anyone. Then the
Okay.
last is tamasic motivation, where it's not even any motivation. You can call it demotivation, where people
Okay.
get depressed and just sit. They don't do anything. Or they say sour grapes,
Uh,
they say angan teda and they sit,
uh,
nachnave
uh,
angan. So that
uh,
also. So they say
okay.
that is tamasic nature, to just withdraw.
Okay.
So we should avoid tamasic and rajasic motivations and get a proper sattvic motivation. That's the first goal of a siddha. Second is
Okay.
to simply understand that if we control our thoughts, we control our future. Siddha is busy learning how to control his or her thoughts. That's
Okay.
it. Simple.
So
Just
this,
let
I
it.
want you to, yes. So
Go
I
on.
mean, there is one beautiful method where you talk about facing problems. You said, and we talked about a character. And here I also want to link that many times in most of the people, Guru Pashupati, the problem is there are patterns in their life. Patterns succeed. I mean, when they get up in the mornings, they say, I want to success. Then something happens, they don't get it. I mean, the patterns repeat, they get into the kind of circle of maybe, I mean, the problems, the poverties, the purpose is not there every day. I mean, I just, how to get out of that particular, kind of a time warp, or how to do that.
See, your character is nothing but your sattvic why.
Okay.
Why does a character exist in a epic? For example, Hanuman. Why does he exist? He exists to serve Lord Ram. And his character has to be of somebody who you can rely upon, dependable. He gives his word, he keeps his word. That's his character, right? But
Okay.
it comes from why he exists because he just doesn't want to see Sri Ram unhappy even in for 1 second. There is a story that he asked Sita Devi, why you put this sindur? And she said it makes Ram happy. So he covered his whole body in sindur to make him happy. He's very
Oh,
simple and innocent and very powerful. So that's his character. So we have to define why a character exists when we write a story. Similarly, when we compose our own life story, then we have to understand why we are doing it. The why becomes very important. People are not spending enough time in why. They're just like, let's get rid of the irritations and the problems. So that's called firefighting. If you get into firefighting mode, you'll never succeed. But if
okay.
you really work from a very deep vision, why, then you'll succeed.
Okay. Wow. So, I mean, can we put it in for a corporate world? If someone wants to succeed and lead a team,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
he needs to get into the character that let me be a person who would mentor somebody rather than gathering wealth. So maybe that success comes better. I mean, can we put it that way, Guru Pashupati?
100%. The corporates who have a proper mission, they're doing very well.
Mhm.
But the corporates
Okay.
who have a paper mission, but they really don't believe it, they're not really doing well. They have so many
Yeah.
problems because
Yeah.
right down there, the motivation is not coming from a very good place. If the motivation is coming from a good place, the energy will come from inside.
Wow, wow, wow. Because you've seen large corporations collapse, right? Because of the problems, because of some. But if you look at the vision statements and mission and the great kind of cards and placards, I think it's going to be next to God, but doesn't happen like that. So I
See,
think
that's why,
it's very
Shailesh,
beautiful.
the,
Good.
the most
Yeah.
important thing is not the external words. It's the
Yeah.
internal words we say to ourselves. That is
Wow.
most important. And we cannot be ignorant of what internal words we're saying to ourselves. That is the truth. That becomes our future. Externally, you can
Okay.
say anything. I'll do this. I'll do
Okay.
that, and you keep. Don't give your word unless you're internally also saying the same word. Don't give your word to someone.
Wow. Wow. Absolutely. So, I mean, can we call it as an intent or is it a very simple word? I mean, is there something better to
Yeah, I'll give you an
define this?
example. For example, somebody says you take up a job, okay, as a writer, let's say, okay, and
Okay.
you tell someone, I'll help you to write a book, and they say, okay, yeah, you help me to write a book, and inside you're saying, will I be able to do it? Will I be not
Wow.
be able to do it? The when moment you're saying inside, will I be able to do it? But the person outside is asking, will you write the book? You're like, yes, yes, because you want the money. But
Mhm.
internally you're saying, I don't know. Externally also say, I don't know. That's better.
Okay.
Otherwise, change your internal dialogue.
Right. Right. Right.
That's
So
what
there is one.
leads to biggest problem, biggest mental problem today. It's called imposter syndrome because
Oh,
people's
wow.
external words are not matching their internal words.
Wow.
It is not a medical problem, but people are treating it with medicines as if it's a medical problem. It's a problem of integrity.
Imposter. How would you? I mean, can you come
Syndrome,
again?
imposter syndrome.
Syndrome. Wow. 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 Wow.
Feeling that I'm not qualified and everybody is going to leave me.
Okay. Okay. Or maybe the intent is not good when you do the work. So maybe the results are not up to what you intended for, right? Maybe.
See, the intent is two. One which I say to people and one which I say to
Yeah.
myself.
Myself.
What you say to yourself has to match what you say to people. That's all I'm saying.
Right.
If it doesn't
I
match, you're
think
going to be in trouble.
so. In Kriya Yoga, I mean, where there are a lot of YouTube channels, everybody's going giving Kriya at so and so dollars and whatever. I mean, one of the basic elements is speak the truth. Right, speak the truth. I mean, if Kriya has to work. I think you also had a tryst with Mahavatar Babaji, and that's something which I think you have not talked much about in because you're more on the work front or the execution front. But I think in this podcast, we want to know more about. Um, I mean, everybody dreams of, right? I mean, of Mahavatar Babaji, and so many readings have happened. So, can you share your experiences and thoughts here?
So, Mahathir Babaji came into my life when I was 12 or something. And at that time, I didn't know it was him because he came in disguise. He came as a martial arts teacher for me, right? He came as a Gurkha. So Gurkhas are descended from Gorakhnath. They're all followers of him, right? And he suddenly came into my life and started teaching me martial arts. And then he vanished also, just like that. Then he came into my life again. This time he came as a sadhu, but he was a very tall sadhu, 6.5 feet. And then he couldn't, he had to bend down to fit inside the door. He came into my house and he told me that I have to drop my ego and do all the things that normal people do. And then he went off. And then I did that. And he said, I'll come back for you. The third time he came, when I was in Varanasi, he came and then he took me, he initiated me, and then he asked me to walk with him all the way to Nepal. So I walked all the way and came back. And after that, I met him again several times, once in Pune, once in Goa, once here in Mysore. And actually, in Mysore, he's come 2 or 3 times where he appears in his luminous form. So he's got many forms. He's 2,700 years old and he's immortal. And he initiated me into all these lineages, simply because I wasn't selfish in my life. I always knew that I have to benefit everyone, and then I don't have to worry about my own benefit. It'll happen automatically. I don't have to really worry about it. This much I knew even when I was a kid. So, and I never gave up. I said, if there's a problem, I take full responsibility for solving it. I had this attitude. Okay. So, with this attitude, I believe that I was able to attract. Uh, I think also I cried a lot. I cried for Lord Shiva's grace one day after getting uh, beaten up very badly by the neighborhood boys. I just sat down and I
Okay.
cried. And I said, Shiva, I
This,
want to deal with this myself, but you're not giving me knowledge. And so
this
I'm
is the
very angry.
childhood
Yeah.
times.
Yeah. I
Okay.
said, Shiva, I'm very angry with you because you're not giving me knowledge. Send me a teacher, send me somebody, send me something, send me power. I need to be able to take care of this problem. I'm not saying that you should take away the problem. I will take away the problem. Give me the knowledge. That's how I was crying. I was breaking down and making this prayer. That time he came, he was standing. Suddenly, on shadows falling, and I'm like, I look, there is this person whose head is shining like this. I'm like, who are you? He said, you want to learn to fight? I'll teach you. That's how it came.
Okay.
So
So I think the
I
time.
guess
Yeah.
Babaji picks his student. We can't pick him as a teacher.
Okay. Right.
But most people come to me and they think I'm organizing some trips. I'm not organizing any trips to Mahavatar Babaji's cave because even I don't know where it is. He
Okay.
took me there. And there is up to a point where we could walk, we walked. After that, he just transported me. Zip like that.
Okay. Okay. Right. 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 So I think the time has come, Guru Pashupati, for showing some moves. Okay, and I think people need to go beyond the gym, and you need to tell us more about the gadas, the mudgars. I mean, if I pronounce it rightly.
Correct.
And let me tell you, I mean, I run one of the large premium studios in Thane, and believe me, I mean, we every day we try what new to give to the people. And I think rather than new, I think we need to rediscover our past. And there is a beautiful instruments for self-defense, for developing the confidence. And my guru always says, fearlessness is something which yoga, the whole end objective is. And another word for fearless in our Upanishad, there is a word called enlightenment. But at this point of time, I definitely feel Guru Pashupati that the way you're showing the moves with the mudgars and the gadas, I think this is absolutely inspiring, and I believe that every house should do this kind of exercise, of course, under guidance. And I see a new wave happening in the days to come with your drive.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, more about the mudgars and the gadas.
Okay, so this is my studio. Let me just show you around. Here's where we
Okay.
train. You can see that it is full of all these
Okay.
gadas, and,
Uh-huh.
stuff like that everywhere. Even in the
Okay.
God's room, it's full of
Okay.
gadas, right?
Uh,
So these are instruments that are very imbalanced. See, by its nature itself, this is imbalanced. So there are
uh,
two people operating this instrument. One is my muscular power, and the
okay.
other ally, along with me, is
Uh,
gravity. So I don't have to
okay.
have power. I just have to raise it up enough to let gravity do the job,
Oh,
and that can keep
okay.
some just now.
So what's the kind of weight it has? I mean, is there a variability of the weights, Guru Pashupati?
Yeah, typically beginners, I would start them off with a 2 or 3 kg gada.
Okay. Mhm.
It sounds very small, but it's harder than you think because the weight is
Okay.
somewhere else and you hold somewhere else, right? So now you
Right.
are thinking of leverage. You have to have very strong wrist. First of all, see,
Mhm.
you have to hold a gada like this. You
Okay.
need to have a very strong wrist, otherwise you can't move this
Ah.
gada.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
It'll fall. If an ordinary person holds this gada, it'll fall. They can't hold it like
Uh-huh.
this
Right.
because the
Right.
weight is somewhere else. The wrist has to be strong. Along with the wrist, you need shoulder strength, rotator cuff strength, shoulder blades, everything. And you need to have a strong base from your toes to the top of your head. Everything is exercised when you move the gada because you are moving around. It's not static. It's all about it's all about
Oh.
your balance. You see, nobody can come here. Gada can be close to
You,
550.
oh, wow, wow. You're on a solo layout, huh? Because I wanted you to have a big screen, right? So I'm
Yeah,
there,
yeah.
no worry. This was, I mean, I thought it would continue. I want this to be continuing. Lovely, lovely,
Well, if
lovely.
you continuously swing the gada, of course there are ways
Uh,
to swing it, right? There
okay,
are ways. There are ways to swing the gada. Each movement has a name. Everything
okay,
has a particular way that we swing it, and as we swing and move it, we are working with every muscle of our body, especially the
oh,
core. The core
okay,
really is very, very strong. And so everyone starts with a lightweight. And then you can go up
okay,
from there. There's no end to how heavy the gada can get. Look at this
okay.
guy. This one,
Oh, oh,
Mr. Gada carries by Skanda.
ah,
Subrahmanyam.
that's okay. So, what's the weight of this?
It could be about 15 kgs.
Hmm.
Not heavy, but it's unwieldy, right? Using
Ah,
this as
yes.
it's like a battering
Oh,
ram. You have to
so
be
if
full of
we,
power to lift
so
it.
I see the dumbbells which are evenly balanced, but this I feel that's something which is I feel this is a beautiful pose. I'll stay there. And, okay, so
Yes,
I
this
mean
is-
this is more of maybe a kind of not it's linear, right? I mean it's linear. There's some difference I feel in the distribution of weight.
of course, it's very different from lifting weights, you know.
Yeah.
Very, very different. You need to use your core, you need to use your feet. Brothers come in various shapes also, right?
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
This one, this
Right.
one's very heavy on the top. So this one strikes are very different.
Okay.
So like that. So these are this.
So
So
lovely. I mean, there is one element which I want you to really lovely. Thanks so much, Guru Pashupati. Really blessed. Thank you for such an amazing way to handle. I feel if I do it, I mean, right away it may fracture some things, right? It requires
yeah, yeah.
training, I suppose.
Yeah, that is like any other Shastra Vidya.
Uh-huh.
You have to start small, you have to follow exactly what the Guru says. Otherwise, you'll get
Okay.
injured. You cannot watch this on Instagram and start.
Right, 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 right. Guru, there's one element we talked about Panchabhutas.
Hmm.
And then I'm going to one, I mean, a few minutes more about the Vayus. In yoga, we talk about the Prana Vayu, Udana Vayu, and all of the
Yes.
Vayus, which are related to something. So, is there
Yes.
a relationship between this Vayus and the way we move the Mudgars? And of course, also, I want more information about the Panchabhutas, or maybe a demonstration of it. So maybe
So
I
the
mixed two. So there are
Panchas,
one is let's talk about the Vayus first, and then we go to the Panchabhutas.
there are five main Vayus and five Upavayus, which we know of.
Yeah.
There are more Vayus which we don't understand, and they're more secret and they're not spoken about
Yeah.
also.
Okay.
You'll not find
Okay.
it even in the textbooks.
Ah.
But the
Okay.
textbooks speak of five what five main Vayus,
Yeah.
and
Prana
these five
Vayus.
Vayus are, of course, related to the. It is an element. Vayu itself was one of the elements.
Okay.
So there are five elements, or you cannot call them elements. Uh, Bhuta
It's
means
a flow.
spirit.
Okay. Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
so
Yeah.
we as a jiva, we have something called tanmatra, and tanmatra is our inner sensations. These inner sensations do not require a body. You can have inner sensations even after you're dead. You can have inner sensations before you're born also. So from our inner sensation comes the external world, which is called bhuloka, which is made up of five bhutas. So the bhutas respond to each inner sensation. The inner
Okay.
sensation of words, like sound that we make, that responds to the space, Akash Bhuta. So there's a spirit called space which comes, it sets the scene or the context.
Wow.
And then there is another element called Bhumi or Prithvi, which comes from a sense of smell. And when we have inner smells, we create that nourishing atmosphere. And then there are inner tastes. Inner tastes give rise to the Vayus. So there are
Okay.
five kinds of inner tastes, and further subdivided into five more inner tastes, which give rise to 10 Vayus. Then
Okay.
there are inner feelings, which give rise to the element of apas or jal, water. And then
Okay.
there are The final element is, the fire, which is from inner visions. Inner visions create Agni. So people who have weak internal visions, they don't have a strong vision of the future, they'll have weak Agni in their body.
Okay.
In the body, you can talk about three different kinds of Agni: Chidagni, Jataragni, Moolagni. So all of these are produced by our inner visions. So now our tanmatras control the elements, and our specifically our sense of taste controls
Okay.
the vayus. Nobody knows this. I mean, it's written in the scriptures, but they don't read it. Okay,
Yeah.
so there are different kind of tastes, different areas in your mouth by
Okay.
which you can
Yeah.
control the vayus. These are taught only
Okay.
to initiates. I can't teach it on this
Okay.
podcast. But
Okay.
by learning to control them, we control the different kind of vayus. So what are the different kind of vayus? One vayu comes from above and goes downwards. That is called
Okay.
apa.
Right.
It's called apana because it flows down. One
Yeah.
vayu flows upwards. That's called udana. Now, where both these vayus meet, they spread out like that. That's called samana.
Wow.
Okay, and
Okay.
then that all gets absorbed into the cells, and that is called prana. And some of it, the excess prana comes out, and that is called vyana, which we call aura, or it's the uh,
Wow.
bioelectric field that is there around every
So
animal. Right?
right.
So
Right.
those are the five pranas. Then they have five upa pranas, Naga, Kurma, Kitira,
Right.
Devdatta, and
Right.
Dhananjaya is the last vayu, which
Right. Right.
after
Where
you die,
the
you leave the body. So those are the
right.
ones. So the vayu is what makes people alive.
Right.
Vayu
Right.
creates hunger,
Absolutely.
by the way. Vayu
Right.
creates motivation and hunger.
Right, right, right. So I think I saw these moments, that is why this came to my mind, Guru Pashupati. In fact, I'm sure you might have not mentioned in anything, but I felt that all these exercises which you did with the Mudgars and the Gada, I mean, I felt that this may have an impact on the Vayus. Yeah.
Well, it's more like we use the vayus to do those movements. It's not like the movements have
Oh,
impact.
wow,
Vayu is
wow,
what
okay,
animates everything.
wow,
So by harnessing the vayus, we are able to do such heavy movements.
okay,
For
okay.
I mean, I'm strong, but I can I, I can show more strength than it looks. Do I look like I can
Okay.
lift a car? But I can. So that's
Wow.
what happened. My friend's car got stuck in Goa inside, and you know how the wheels
Lovely.
turn in the mud. So
Yeah,
I just
I mean,
lift
I really want
it
to
out.
thank you because you've kept it so simple. I mean, the understanding the Vayu, because people were thinking about the organs and where it touches, but I think the way you explain how it really forms the samana, and then the prana and the vayana, fantastic. Guruji, last two things. I want you to share with the world what are your upcoming projects, your initiatives which you're currently working on, and because as a yoga practitioner, as a person who runs a studio, I've been practicing yoga since my school days. I want more of these yogic practices to reach the masses. And whatever small contribution I can make to communicate what you're doing, I think I'll be really happy to do that, Guruji.
So I'm very hungry for hungry people.
Okay.
I want people who
Okay.
really want to learn yoga as taught in our scriptures and really understand it to the depth. Yesterday somebody was showing me Bhagavad Gita. Did you know that Bhagavad Gita is a yoga book? Every
Whoa.
chapter is called one yoga.
Yes,
There is different
absolutely.
yogas. Right? 18 yogas are there in it.
Yeah.
So somebody was reading chapter 2, verse 13 or 14, and it says that a human being goes through childhood, youth, and that and this. This is natural. It's not. There's nothing to be. You know, there's nothing astonishing about it. That's the
Ah,
translation
yes.
in English, which is terrible. That is not the translation.
Yes, yes,
Okay, because
yes.
he's clearly using a word called manasparsha, but nobody
Mm.
knows what is manasparsha. It means internal feelings. Nobody knows. So manasparsha is like just escape because nobody knows these technical words. So in the open, Krishna has casually told everyone how to be immortal.
Yeah.
In the
Okay.
verse number 14 of chapter 2, secret of immortality is
Right.
revealed, but we don't know this. That makes me sad. I think one of the biggest projects is I need to get people who will sit and help me. with these
Yeah.
translations. And if you
Yeah.
translate it in the way that I have been taught by my
Hmm.
guru, then
Okay.
people will be able to wake up to how great is the yogic knowledge. Otherwise,
Right. Yeah.
I saw an ad for yoga on Facebook, and I felt that it's really reached the limit now. The ad
Yeah.
says
Hmm.
yoga classes for men for power and fitness,
Hmm.
no spirituality.
Oh. Oh. Okay. Okay.
I'm like,
Right.
what has
Right.
yoga become, man? It's become exercise.
Yes.
It's a
Yes.
joke.
Yes. Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think we
So
need to fix that.
we need to fix it. I'm definitely for it. And in our studio, you must have seen we celebrated Ekadashi. We celebrated the beautiful, amazing pilgrimage of Padayatra of Pandharpur. We celebrated the Guru Purnima in the most traditional way. And I think this is what we believed in the evenings. We had the kirtans in our times, which lifted the spirits. But today there is a different spirit to, there's a short term spirits happening at around 7 plus. But I think the real yogic, the cannabis is within us.
Somebody has spread this misinformation that in Kali Yuga there is only Bhakti Yoga which will take you. I think it's ISKCON. I'm not
Yeah.
sure. Somebody has spread this message. It's falsehood. Okay.
Yeah.
So all the yogas are still relevant even in Kali Yuga. We have to learn, we have to look into these Dwapara Yoga texts like Bhagavad Gita or even earlier yoga texts like Ramayana. We have to look into them and there is all the secrets there. It has to come out of there. Okay.
Right. I
So
think there is a message in what you just now said, to all the people who are facing challenges in their lives. I want everybody to look at this podcast right from the beginning. There are a lot of clues for everybody. This is for the entire audience who is watching us. That and there are clues at every point that how you can harness your inner energies to find that happiness, and it's all an internal talk. Anything last message, Guru Pashupati, you want to share? Maybe I failed to ask you on maybe something which you feel which you need to share to our audience and the people who will be watching the podcast.
I have only one message. If you can be attentive and you can be open, I'll make you a siddha. So be like that hungry. And if you're like that hungry, contact me because there's a lot of work to do.
Yes, I think I saw a mission of 14 billion, right? Which
No, I
you
want more 1 million Siddha Yogi gurus. Okay, not just
okay.
Siddha Yogi. I want people to teach. I'm not willing to teach someone who will just take the knowledge and then not teach anyone else. That is not my goal. I want to teach people who will make it their mission to go and teach other people. This is the school of strength. This is the school of accomplishment.
Wow.
And this
So
is where it's
Siddha
going.
Yoga is yoga of accomplishment, right, Guru Pashupati?
Yes.
Lovely.
Siddhi means accomplishment.
Accomplishment, Siddhi. Lovely. So this was a very, very different experience for me, Guru Pashupati. Let me tell you, I mean, this is the first time I had to actually do a lot of reading before I started talking to you.
I
And I'm
appreciate it.
sure you humbly put that it is nothing but 20 Upanishad, Yoga Upanishad, which you teach. But let me tell you, it's a beautiful, new, fresh whiff of yogic philosophy, yogic practice. I love to see that Mugdar and the Gada. It was phenomenal. We wish to continue this discussion, Guru Pashupati, and I understand you run one of the large akhadas in Mysore. And I would request everybody to follow the social handles. Take as much knowledge as you can in this fast paced world, and let's aim towards that accomplishment, the happiness, the courage, fearlessness which yoga tries to do.
All right.
Any
Thank you.
final mantra, Guru Pashupati, which from your side, maybe a little beautiful small mantra with your words, so and we can close. Yeah.
I have only one mantra. Sarva Mangalam Bhavatu. May everybody prosper. May everybody have wisdom. May everybody have kindness. May everybody have glory and
Wow.
accomplishment.
Lovely, Guru Pashupati. Thank you so much.
All right.
It's great talking to you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye for now.